Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I was thinking this morning that tomorrow marks 3 months since the day that I sat down and made my first YouTube video in earnest. I've had this channel since like 2011, but it was just an account that I used to watch other videos, and I had been thinking for years and years that I should start a YouTube video, and I was overanalyzing, overthinking, thinking of all the equipment I would need, thinking about how I would learn to edit videos, and I just kept putting it off, and I just didn't do it for the longest time. And then I was coming to a head with how I was feeling at work, feeling extremely burned out, and knowing that I had to make a change very soon. So I sat down on October 12th and made a video. It had horrible audio, and but I just had a lot on my mind, and I was thinking about quitting my job. And so I sat down and made a video, and I was off on PTO that following week. And so I made it a personal challenge to make 7 videos that week and just get my channel started, thinking nobody's going to watch any of them. And now it's 3 months later, and I have just under 9,500 subscribers, and it's amazing the progress that I've made. And I wasn't even thinking that it was going to happen. That wasn't my intention at all. But I was thinking that I wanted to tell you all what I've learned in the 3 months that I've been on YouTube, an official YouTuber, and the advice that I would give somebody else who was thinking about starting a YouTube channel. So the first thing I thought was that you kind of need to understand your why. Why do you want to start a YouTube channel? And over the 3 months, I've had quite a roller coaster of emotions about the whole thing. But I have to keep going back to my original intention, which was just to kind of document my story and give my kids a legacy, leave my story someplace where my kids and grandkids can find it. I've always wanted to write a book. I've always thought that I would do that, and then later on, as I got a little older and got so busy with side businesses and my career, and I thought I'll never be able to sit down and focus long enough to write a book, but maybe I could start a YouTube channel. I just want to get everything that's in here out and share it with people. So that was my motivation. That was motivation in the beginning. And then after my channel kind of took off, then I started seeing dollar signs, right? And I started thinking about money that I might be able to make doing YouTube. And then that kind of came, that I'm gonna tell you, that was a big whoop and then woo. I'm just going to tell you, if you're doing it for the money and you don't already have a business that you're going to promote on YouTube, if you're just going to start a YouTube channel thinking you're going to make a ton of money, you're in the wrong field. There's plenty of other ways to make money online or outside of a job other than YouTube. If you're just looking at YouTube for money, then you're looking in the wrong place. So let me give you a little background on that. I did my first video October 12th. I got monetized on, I believe it was November 4th. I'm thinking off the top of my head. And in November, I made $1,600 and some change on YouTube, which is insane now that I know what I know, because in December, I only made just over $500 on YouTube, and that was in the beginning of the month when I've got 2 or 3 videos that I made early on that did really well, and they've kind of tapered off since then. But in December, I made just over $500 in Adsense revenue, but I also got a brand deal. I have a review, if you look back last month, that I did on an electric trach that I got from a company called Mooncool. It was basically, they gave me the trach in exchange for an honest review, and I did that, and that trach is worth $1,600 retail. So if you add that to December, then I did pretty well in December as well. But after the middle of the month, my traffic kind of went off a cliff. And I really, over the last 28 days, I was gaining 1 to 300 subscribers a day early on. And then I have really only gained less than 100 in the past month. And so far for January, I've got $23 in Adsense revenue. So I may not even break the $100 threshold this month to get paid. And I'm going to keep going anyway, because now that I know what I know, that it can't be counted on, and the success I had early on was really a great surprise. I wasn't counting on it, and it was a good little bonus, but I'm going to go back to not counting on it, and so that I can continue making this fun and making this rewarding. So understand why you want to be a YouTuber, and if you're doing it for the money, then just don't bother. All right, number 2, be authentic. My early success, I believe, was just because I didn't think about what I was going to talk about, other than I knew something was on my mind, and I turned on the camera and I just spoke as if I was talking to a friend. If you want to have fun on YouTube and you want to use it as a creative outlet, the only way to keep it fun and creative is to be authentic. That's what people want. People want you to be you. They don't want another talking head. They don't want you coming on here making a bunch of promises that are fake. There's plenty of fake on the internet, especially nowadays with AI. So you just need to come on here and be yourself. You don't have to be pretty. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have perfect hair, perfect teeth. You don't really even know exactly, you don't even have to know what you're going to say. You just have to have something on your mind and turn on the camera and say it and be authentic. Open yourself up to the world. Now I'm a private person, if you could believe that. And so there's certain things that I haven't gotten comfortable with telling you yet. There's safety and things to consider, but be authentic, be you, and people are gonna find you. Your people are gonna find you. So that's all you have to worry about. Whether or not you ever make money on YouTube, if you do make money on YouTube, it's gonna be temporary. I learned that myself, the hard way, if you want to say the hard way. It wasn't hard because I didn't expect it to begin with. If you ever make money on YouTube, it's going to be a bonus, and it's going to be temporary. It may not last. But whether or not you ever make money on YouTube, being authentic and building your community is going to make you into a better person. The next tip is for you to be consistent and be realistic about how often you can actually post on YouTube. If you are working a full-time job, you may not be able to post but once a week realistically, if you want to be consistent. What I did the first week that I came on YouTube was I challenged myself to do 7 videos that week, but I knew that I wasn't going to be able to do that forever. And even now that I don't have that full-time job anymore, I'm doing so many other things that I'm not going to be able to do a video every day. I know that there are people out there that do DoDash, but you need to be realistic about how many videos you're going to be able to post and be consistent with it. So whether it's once a week, twice a week, I just started actually scheduling my videos, which I think is going to help me with my sanity and maybe even with my viewership. So my plan is this past week I scheduled my videos for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that's what I'm planning on doing for the foreseeable future. I'm planning on putting out 3 videos a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if it gets to be too much, I'll go back to twice a week. But that's what I know that I can be consistent with. So be consistent and schedule your videos and try to come up with a schedule. And that's a tip that I think that will help you be in it for the long run. Okay, to script or not to script? That is the question. And I will tell you what has worked for me and what is working for me. I went from being 100% off the cuff, turning on the camera and just talking. And I didn't even really know how to edit when I first started. I just did a stream of consciousness and that was that. And then I learned how to use CapCut and cut out the silences and the ums and ahs and other bloopers in between my talking. And then I started using, for a little bit, I decided to write a script beforehand because I like to write as well, and then use a teleprompter. There's an app, there's several probably, but there's a teleprompter app that I downloaded, and then I could put my script on it so that I could look at my phone and read the script while I'm filming the video. And I tried that, and I have found what works for me is not 100% off the cuff, and it is not 100% scripted. It's somewhere in between. What I'm doing now is writing notes and bullet points. I hope you can't see my notes, but I write notes in a notebook, and as I'm talking, I just look down at my notebook, look at my notes so I can remember what it was I wanted to tell you. There's no script here, just bullet points. So that's what I'm doing now. That seems to be what works for me, but you need to figure out what's going to work for you, and it may not be scripting at all. I find I don't like to be too scripted. It just ends up feeling unnatural. Thumbnails. My first week, the thing that got me, that gave me the idea to do the 7 videos in 7 days was I came across a channel. It's Virginia Kerr, and she used to be a news anchor, and she has a YouTube channel now, and she helps other small YouTubers with their channels. And she gave the tip to use Instagram stories to make your thumbnails, and I found that really easy. And if you look back at my channel, you'll see I'm still doing that some. The last video that I put out, and the thumbnail says own less, live more, I think. Look at that. That's an Instagram story. So using Instagram stories to put a picture on there, put some text, take a screenshot, cut it to the shape you want, and voila, there's your thumbnail. That's an easy way to do thumbnails with text that you can add to your videos. And then I've also got a lot more colorful and graphic thumbnails that I built with Canva. I have Canva Pro, and I don't know that Canva free version is very helpful. I use Canva Pro for my real estate marketing, so it's $12.99 a month, and I've had that for a couple of years, and I really love it. And if you go into Canva and type in, create a project, and you can type in YouTube thumbnail, and it will give you tons of templates to choose from, and you can make your own thumbnails there, and you don't have to start from scratch. So my thumbnails come from, you can look back at my channel and tell which ones I did on Canva and which ones I did on Instagram stories and did a screenshot. But those are the two ways that you can do thumbnails. If you don't want to pay for Canva, and maybe you're not really too savvy on building things with a program like that, I bet you've used Instagram. And if you do, you can make a nice thumbnail on Instagram stories, and instead of don't post it, just take a screenshot of it and then delete the draft, and you've got a thumbnail. So that's a tip for you. I got it from Virginia Kerr. I'll link her channel down in the description just to say thank you. Thanks, Virginia. Equipment. Keep it simple. All you need is some type of tripod, your phone, and I do suggest a mic. I have a mic. I have my house, I have really tall ceilings. My house is old and it's echoey. And then sometimes you'll see me in my car. I also have a space heater at my feet right here blowing because it's cold in here. And that kind of background noise, if you're just using the audio on your phone or your built-in microphone on your phone, will come through on your videos. So I started out with a cheap microphone, and it really wasn't much better than no microphone. It was very echoey, and loud. And now I invested in a JBL, which is a good brand. I invested in this JBL mic. It comes with this case that's kind of like an AirPod case that's got a built-in battery, so I can put, there's a piece that plugs into the phone, and then this lavalier piece, and they go in here and it keeps them charged. And I think I paid under $100 for this mic, and I really like it. And it sounds a lot better than the cheap one I had. I do suggest a mic, but I mean, to start out with, don't let that stop you from making your first video. Your phone will work just fine. You'll see there's a lot of creators that do use their phone audio, because you can tell when you're watching the video, you'll hear echoes and that kind of thing. But I do suggest a mic. All you need is a mic, your phone, and a tripod. Right now, I have my phone on a full-size camera tripod, which I already had because I used to be a photographer, and I really don't use those kinds of cameras anymore. I just use my phone for everything. And I bought a piece that would screw onto the top of a regular camera tripod that would hold an iPhone. So I use that, or on the go, and when I go on trips, or if I'm just traveling, I have this bendy tripod. You can bend it to wrap around a railing. You can put it pretty much anywhere and just put your phone up and take video. I used it when I went to California in 2023, and I was all by myself. I would put my phone on here, and back then I was really big into Instagram. So I was taking video of myself walking on trails and in the redwood forest and that kind of thing, and I would just sit this on the ground with my phone in it and then walk ahead of it, and that's the one I use. So I'll link to this in the description as well. I'll link to my mic and this and my tripod and anything you might need, but you don't need much. Something to hold your phone steady. A phone is fine for filming, and a mic is suggested. So I'll link those in the description. That's all you need. You don't need all that fancy equipment. Another suggestion, and I made this video right at the end of 2024 about deleting YouTube Studio from my phone, because I was obsessing over the metrics, and I was looking at YouTube Studio. Every time I picked up my phone, I opened YouTube Studio. It's kind of like, it came to be like a dopamine, endless dopamine loop that like some people pick up their phone and look at Facebook every 5 minutes. I was doing that with YouTube Studio, and I was really getting obsessed because I'd open it and I'm like, oh, okay, yay, 2 new subscribers. And then I'd open it again 5 minutes later and I'd lost 2. And so my emotions were like a roller coaster from looking at YouTube Studio a million times a day. So I would suggest you don't put that app on your phone if you want to. Plus, it doesn't give you the full picture anyway. The desktop version of YouTube Studio is much better, and you don't need to look at it that often. I suggest you just don't obsess over the metrics. You do want to improve. You want to see what your audience likes and what they don't like, and which thumbnails work better and that kind of thing, but don't obsess over it, because if you do, you're not going to have fun, and having fun is what's going to keep you going. You're not going to stay motivated if it's not fun. And then back to the money. Don't get ahead of yourself. If you have some success early on, or if you get monetized really quickly, just keep building your channel and have fun, and don't start seeing dollar signs and thinking about putting out courses and all this kind of stuff. I put out an ebook early on because I had been working on that thing for years and I had never quite finished it, and my YouTube success gave me the motivation to finish it up and get it out there. But I've sold maybe 10 copies of it. That's linked in the description too if you're interested. It's I did a health coaching program at Duke over a decade ago, and I used the principles that I learned in that to write an ebook about, for women. It started out being a self-care course for nurses, and then I've adjusted it to be for midlife women, and it's called Midlife Makeover. Anyway, I think I got ahead of myself with that because I thought, my subscriber base is growing exponentially. I'm going to put out my ebook and then I'm going to make, money on it. And really hasn't worked out, and I think it hurt me in the big picture, because my channel really has slowed down from the growth that I was having early on, just kind of skirt. And I'm not saying it was the ebook, but I'm thinking I lost focus on what was really important. So keep that in mind. Don't get ahead of yourself, and just keep making videos and building your tribe, and keep it moving. Don't get distracted by all the little shiny objects. So my suggestion is that you identify who is your ideal viewer. And for me, it was basically like, I think of a best friend as somebody in my age group that I have a lot in common with, or maybe a little bit younger woman that I want to give advice to. But identify that ideal viewer, and when you're speaking to the camera, speak to that person, that ideal viewer, that fictional ideal viewer that you've come up with. That's what's going to help you. You don't think about you're talking to the whole world, or you're talking to the entire millions and millions of people watching YouTube. Think about your ideal viewer and speak to that person when you're making your videos. That's going to help you stay focused, and it's going to help you be authentic, and it's going to help you know what to say when you're talking to a specific avatar of a viewer. And then lastly, my final piece of advice: stop thinking about it. Stop overanalyzing. Stop thinking about it, because you've probably been thinking about it for a very, very long time. Just do it. Just make a video and post it. Think about basically what you want to talk about, and turn on the camera and make a video. And you can download CapCut. That's the program that I use. It's very simple. It's an app. Make a video. Don't use the vertical format on your phone. Do the landscape. Turn your phone sideways. Make a video. Upload it to CapCut. Cut out all the parts that you don't want in there, and then upload it to YouTube. And you've made your first video, and the ice is broken. So just do it. That's my final piece of advice. I hope this has helped you. I'd really like it if you would subscribe to my channel if you have found value in this. I've got lots more to say, and I'm so glad that you're here, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.